Welcome to Mindstruck Meditation and Awareness Studio. I am your host, Elizabeth Deboo, and here we experience those aha moments of living, learning, growing, and sustaining the practice of mindful awareness through meditation and breath, connection, and alignment, and how these practices open us up to living a soulful life from the inside out. Take some nice deep breaths. And just begin to notice where your body is in space. First of all, just where you're sitting, what the surface is you're sitting on, and position your feet are in. Noticing if they're flat on the floor, the resistance of that surface. And maybe balancing that at the other end, what's the top of your head feel like? And then with an imaginary sort of beautiful neon highlighter, just take notice of the outline of you right now. And you're just noticing, really. You're just letting that highlighter go all the way around you and the outside of your body. And that kind of gives you this idea of your container, at least your physical container. And if you can imagine just pouring yourself into yourself. Sometimes when we talk and we get really, really in our heads and there's all kinds of buzzing and activity going on, thinking and processing, and if we can just allow ourselves to pour into the rest of us. So in that neon highlighted outline, can we fill up what's inside of that with ourselves? And one way to do that is to really begin to connect in with your breath. So taking some nice deep inhalations and equally as deep exhalations. And with every inhalation, noticing what that feels like in your chest, the expansion of your ribs, the stretching maybe even of your skin. And then what does it feel like when that air just recoils out? The ribs come in and relax. The belly relaxes. Maybe you're noticing where the breath actually enters into your system when you begin to inhale. Is it right there at the tip of your nose? Or is your first sense of that breath back a little further? And then with each inhalation, trying to follow the path of the breath. And with each exhalation, feeling the path of the breath out. And just noticing what happens to the breath with each succession of breath. Noticing if it gets a little softer, or maybe it gets a little bit bigger, a little bit more deep. Noticing what your physical structures feel like. And also noticing how your breath keeps breathing itself. And it's one of the best places to be the observer. Because right now we don't actually have to worry about breathing. It just happens. So it's a great place, great opportunity to observe and not try to intervene or change. Now also notice how safe and secure you are right now as you sit here and your breath breathes itself. Begin to notice gravity in your bones, gravity's effect on your bones, that heavy body presence that gravity reminds us of. Maybe you can feel the outline of your body from the top of your head all the way down, where gravity is affecting your skin. Maybe you feel it a little deeper in your bones. And notice how safe and secure that feels. Recognizing we're in a place that's sheltered, warm, and really our basic needs are met. So much so that we just get to sit here and feel our bones and pay attention to our breath. That's how safe we are. So now, I'd like you to imagine that there's a big, huge disco ball above your head. Only it's not shiny and mirrory, but it's bubbly, like sparkling water. And it's light. And for you, it might have a color. And this ball of effervescing yumminess is just going to seep down through the top of your head and remind you where all your cells are. Remind you of where your body is in space and all your body parts. So it begins at the top of your head and it moves through layers, your hair, the skin, your scalp, the bones of our cranial vault. And it just effortlessly moves into your gorgeous brain with all the nooks and crannies, all the amazing structures up here. And here, up here in your brain where there's so much activity, so much processing, as it moves through in this effervescing way, it's just kind of washing it, clarifying and cleansing. Really, really deep, deep in the brain. So there's more ease and less congestion, less processing, more flow. And notice how that feels. Deep in your eye sockets, your sinuses, deep into your mouth and your muscles that you use to chew and talk, your tongue. These places, you might run into places of tension. And if you could just imagine this ball of effervescing moving through these places, maybe it's in your jaw. You might feel tension in your jaw or in your head. You might feel it at the base of your skull. But let this ball of effervescing light just seep deep into your structures, washing, cleansing, flowing. And this ball's light and effervescing bubbles, it's moving down underneath your chin, the bones, the muscles, the tissue underneath your chin, down into your neck, behind your neck, the back and the sides. Sometimes where we have a tendency to hold tension, all the way down, just drenching and deeply imbibing in all your tissues, your neck, the front, the sides, deep, deep into the top of those shoulder muscles, Where our neck meets our shoulders, often we have tension here. Just noticing if that's true for you and allowing this light, this clarifying light and bubbles, allowing it to move deeply down your shoulders, up by your collarbones, deep into your shoulder joints, bones, blood, the vasculature and the nerves, the tendons and the ligaments, letting it just ooze into these deep places and all the cells down your arms, to your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, and your hands. Each finger, letting it just flow through each finger. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Do you notice any sensations? And just trusting that clarifying light and that effervescing yumminess is going to just stay in all the parts that it's already touching, even though you're going to direct your awareness back up towards your collarbones, down your spine, around your rib cage, and deep, deep behind the sternum into your heart, beneath the ribs, deep in your lungs. And I wonder what it would feel like if you took a little bit deeper breath. See if that light, that effervescing element, see what would happen. Breathing it a little bit more deeply into those lungs and your muscles that are between your ribs, your spine, all the way down into your low back. It's just super saturating your diaphragm, that doming, huge, amazing muscle that allows us in the breath to breathe itself. This light is going to continue to go into these amazing organs in your abdomen, your stomach, and off to the left, your pancreas and your spleen, and off to the right, underneath that dome in the rib cage, your huge, gorgeous liver, that little gallbladder stuck right up in there. All those functions, this light, this effervescing element is moving through, creating flow and clarity to make it really easy for you to notice, easy to observe, or to feel a sensation or a temperature. Continuing on, the light moves through your small intestines, the loops and loops and loops of small intestine. Into your kidneys, your adrenals, and deep into the pelvis, the large intestine, the bladder, ovaries, uterus. It continues to move down and deep into your pelvis, the bones, the heavy, heavy bones of your pelvis that keep us stable. The sacrum, our stable hip joints, the ligaments and tendons, and the lymphatics that flush out this area, the vasculature that sends blood supply to this area. This light just highlights it. And the light moves down the heavy bones of your femurs, the upper leg, and spreads into the muscles, nerves, joints, ligaments, tendons. Moving deep into your knee joints, your kneecaps, and down into the lower legs. Both bones, each leg, the membranes, the muscles, moving through, revealing any tensions, discomfort, temperature, texture. Kind of washes through this area to make it very easy to identify with, to be a part of. And deep into the ankle joints and all the bones of the feet. Every toe on each foot. The light just drenches every cell, every particle of your being. And now taking your awareness to the bottom of your feet. Just noticing what that feels like on the bottom of your feet. And now again, just noticing your whole body, how gravity is still there, how your breath is breathing itself, and the comfort of warm shelter. And after having scanned and clarified your body and observed, you can feel your body sort of as a whole. Just notice what it feels like. Notice what you see, feel, hear, experience. And now just taking some more purposeful breaths to really bring us back into some functionality of our body. Really deepen your breath. Deepen the inhalation and deepen the exhalation. And now moving your fingers and toes. Again, just get some functionality back in your body. And noticing how that feels. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.